Your success in anything that you set out to do in your life is always going to come back to that initial first goal, that first dream, or that first thought. And if you work real hard, chances are pretty good, and I mean real hard, that you're going to meet that goal. And that's exactly where you're going to stay until the day you die. Yeah, I'm an expert at saying things that nobody wants to hear but have to be heard and have to be said, and not enough people in the world of pool are saying them. The truth really sucks most of the time, but that's what's going to get you over those humps and on your way to hitting the big time. This is what's going to have you reevaluating your whole life and the whole reason that you play this game and getting over those humps if you have the guts to reevaluate yourself and why you're doing all this. Most people don't have the guts. Some people do. You can set up your whole life to be the best at Rita's Biker Bar. And then when you accomplish that goal and you are the best at Rita's Biker Bar, that's exactly where you're going to stay. The core of the problem is most pool players grow up without a strong family structure or a single mother that just did not have time to give us the attention that we needed and all that stuff. And I'm not going to give them all that crap. But we wind up stumbling into some pool room or some dive bar somewhere, and we see a pool table and we take up a love for the game. And inevitably, we run into the local hustler who's out bar hopping and just playing chumps for nickels and dimes and hustling them and winning. So the goal is established. You want to be as good as that guy. The dream, if you push your dream further, you want to be able to one day beat that guy. So you go back to the pool table and you work real hard for years and years, and one day you beat that guy. And that's the day that you realize that that guy wasn't anywhere near as good as you thought he was. But you accomplished your goal. So then you find yourself running around playing chumps for nickels and dimes and hustling them and coming home with 20 whopping dollars. And you are that guy. So you keep doing what he was doing years ago, and you keep coming home with 20 whopping dollars. If you want to reevaluate your dream, you're going to have to up your goal a little bit and start playing better players for more money. And that is when you learn what real pool is all about, and those local shortstops come in left and right and absolutely rob you and suck your heart right out of your anus. So now what do you do? You can't play them. They ain't going to play you for free. You can hang around Rita's Biker Bar and continue to play chumps, but you're going to have to play them for free and for fun. And there you are stuck. You're trapped by your own goal. It's because everything's relative and there's no structure in this game. We're just a bunch of lost kids who stumbled across the pool table and fell in love with the game. We didn't know what good was when we thought that guy was good. And how the hell were we supposed to know? Nobody told us. We're all going to be thinking all day, every day, for the rest of our lives. This is what we do. Even when we're sleeping, our minds are still working and we're still thinking. So if you're going to be thinking, what you should do right from the start is find out what big is and think big. For centuries, millions of pool players have sat around pool halls justifying their own failure by saying the guys who got great, and I mean really great, just have natural talent. And that's really an insult to the guys who got great. When Skylar Woodward was 10 years old, his initial dream wasn't to beat up on the local bar bang or to be the best in his city or to win, state championships. His dream was to be the best in the world. So every time he beat that local bar banger, it was just a step along the way that gave him more confidence to beat the local champions, to give him more confidence to beat the state champions, and to give him more confidence to go out on the road and play the big dog. And so still today, to this very day, he's trying to accomplish that initial goal of being the best in the world. And each day he gets closer to that goal. And today he's one of the best in the world, but he's not the best. So he's still pushing toward that goal. That's the truth, and that's the real reason that Skylar got so damn good, so damn fast. So what happens when your dream is set to beat the local bar bangers and to be the best chump in the city, and doing it for years and years and years, you learn how to keep players in the game. So you're not playing the table, you're not playing for some big ass dream, you're playing to win nickels and dimes off the chumps, and your brain gets stuck and programmed in that mode. To keep the chump in the game, you have to miss balls, you have to make him think you can win. So you miss balls and you keep him in the game and you get the bet right and you take him off, and that's that. You get stuck in that pattern. So when you find yourself faced with a legitimate player, you find yourself missing to keep that legitimate player in a game. And you do it automatically because it's stuck in your subconscious. So it changes from what you do to who you are, but you don't even know it's changing because you're surrounded by tiny little fish in a tiny little pond. So it's not the art of winning, it's the art of playing bad and still getting the money. So you find yourself dogging shots that you shouldn't be dogging in the middle of tournaments where it's not about hustling, it's about winning the tournament. And all in the name of being the biggest fish in a tiny little pond with tiny little fishes. Congratulations, you have become exactly what you set out to be. Your dream has come true. So what happens when you continue to make the rounds and continue to hustle people in the bars is that one of two things can happen. Either everybody just stops playing you because everybody knows who you are, or the bar owner, club owner, wherever you're hustling, they decide to bar you because you have become a business inside their business, intercepting their profit. Nobody likes to lose, and even if it's $20, everybody hates to lose. And the whole thing just becomes a bad experience associated with that establishment. So they're not in a hurry to go back to that establishment and have another bad experience. So the bar is not just losing that $20 that you hustled from that guy. He's losing a potential regular customer spending $20 a day in his bar. So if you keep doing this and start hustling dozens of his customers, they're going to bar you because he or she is losing big money just by having you in their bar, and they're not going to let you just set up your own business inside their business to intercept their profit. Now your only choice, if you want to keep on playing and you really love the game, is to go to legitimate pool rooms with legitimate players. And they're going to beat you. And the reason they're going to beat you is because their dreams were bigger than yours. They set out to be the best in the city and hustle people like you. Your dream was much smaller. All the work, all the years of playing have come to an end. You have accomplished your goal. And now where do you go? No, there's nowhere you can go. You can find another local dive bar and sit at the bar and feel sorry for yourself, which is what many of these bar bangers wind up doing. Earl's dream was bigger. He wanted to be a high-stakes road gambler, and that's exactly what he became. But in the meantime, the entire world of pool has changed. Earl got older, and now when he's faced with a legitimate young talent whose dream was to be the best in the world, Earl has a lot of problems beating. And he misses because his whole entire brain is programmed to keep his opponent in the game so he can win more money. And you can't do that with Skylar Woodward. He's going to take your misprogrammed brain and he's going to rip your heart out.
These are out above the line, I don't think. Nope. Good.
And any thinking person says, well, just reevaluate your goals and reset your dreams and start all over again. It's not that easy. You've become what you set out to become. Now you have to become something new, something different, something you're not familiar with. while your brain is thinking, well, my job's already done, I'm getting out of here. Your brain has been programmed, so now you have to deprogram your own computer and reset everything, and it's not as easy as that. You have years and years of bad physical and mental habits. So my advice to any new or young player is the first thing you have to do, it's pretty predictable, is find out what great really is. And the way to do that is to get to some local pro pool tournaments and watch the whole thing from the beginning rounds to the final matches. See, when you're watching YouTube, usually you're just watching the marquee matches, which was the luck of the draw, or the finals or the semifinals. You don't get to see the whole picture. You're just seeing the end. You're seeing the best of the best. So get out in person and get around these guys. And some of them will talk to you, and some of them won't. This is the way you get to see the whole picture and the big picture. That's what's important, just knowing the big picture, and the big picture is not being a local shortstop or a hustler. And then set your goals and dreams, not just to be able to run with these guys, but to be able to beat the best of the best. And this way, everything in between and all the work you're doing will be worth it when you get there. If you do what I did and just set plateaus and set little goals, it's not going to work. You're going to get there, and you're going to just have wasted pretty much your whole life getting nowhere. To be a great pool player takes an awful lot of work and an awful lot of commitment and a whole lot of sacrifice. So you need to go out and figure out if all that is worth it and set your goals to be the best. And I mean the best by knowing what the best is, because it's all relative. Everybody has some kind of ego. It's why you're alive. Just don't have a tiny little ego with tiny little dreams. If you're going to have an ego, have a big ego with great big dreams. Just do me a favor and don't be public about it, because that makes you a dick. And there's too many dicks in this game. If you're going to be like anybody, be like Skyler. That's the guy you want to be.